Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jose Tomeu. All right, well, tonight I wanted to break this down into three parts. I'm Tim Martin, chairman of the Alachua County Republican Party. My guest here tonight for us is Jose Pepe Tomeu. The three parts are really what was Cuba like before Castro, and what was it like right after he came to power? And then the second part is really going to be about the invasion and the imprisonment time that Pepe served. And then finally, the last section, I wanted to talk about what you have done since you were released from prison. So let's get started just kind of talking about Cuba prior to Castro. Does that sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So tell us a little bit about your childhood and growing up in Cuba, your family and your neighborhood.
I was growing up in Camagüey, is a province of Cuba, and also a city. My father was a rancher. We have a beautiful ranch, and always wants to be that. The Cuban then, there was a little bit of it was not perfect. We have a dictator, Batista, but if you don't bother him, he don't bother you. And kind of, so it wasn't like that. We just give, by being that way, a little bit of creative communists can take over. And that's what create Castro and a star, and then people thought it was going to be better. And anything be better than what we have. No ever say that because didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Except here, we're going to be better than what we have.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Here
Right.
in the United States.
Yeah. Yeah, just get a little bit closer
Okay.
to the mic. Okay. Perfect. And tell us a little about when did things begin to change?
Well, when I in the mid 50s, my father sent me here to the United States to learn English because we always thought it was a pretty good idea. The neighbors 90 miles apart. And I was in a school in Coconut Grove, Florida, and I saw a guy from Castro. That Castro was starting with in the hills. Say that they was going to take care of all the ranches, all the land. The land belongs to the people, not to the people who have it. We were bad people and all that. I called my father. Do you remember how you called in those times, you people? You had to call the operator in Miami to get the operator in Havana to get the operator and come away, and I hope so my mother was there, or you didn't get no phone call. Okay? And I told him, I said, they've been saying that. He said, oh, they've been talking about that for 100 years. Guess what? 4 years later, they took our place. They tell you what you want to hear. One lie is say 100 times. It's as good as the truth. That's the motto of the communists. And, well, the Chinese got the Liberation Army. Would they liberate?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Sure.
okay.
And what are some examples of things that you noticed kind of right away changing?
Well, right away, they took the arms. They took the weapons, which is, what is the reason. And then they start creating problems for if you need borrow money for do business, it was hard to do. If you do, I remember I was 14, 15 years old at the time. In other words, I don't know exactly what happened, but everybody was feeling kind of bad. And then in the early 60s, Dennis blew up was the deal. We was able to come before they closed the Cuban border. But to come from Cuba to here, you have to forfeit everything you have. Your house, your business, everything. Then you can get a visa from Cuba, the Cuban. And we did it. We knew we was gonna lose it anyway. And I was able to come. And we was very attentive when we came here.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was willing to help.
Mm-hmm.
I never went to welfare. Everybody who helped me was a person.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
yeah. Well, certainly, obviously, a very emotional time to try to remember. So once Castro actually took over, how different were things for the Cubans? It didn't change overnight, right?
any change overnight, but it changed pretty quick.
Okay.
Because then you start killing the people. Then people fear, and if you have any problem, that you can go to prison. You can you'll be killed. And then it took too long. I think 5 or 6 years. Everybody 5 or 6 years to have. They have 80% of, especially the biggest company. We have three refineries in Cuba, a Shell, a Standard Oil, and the other one was the Shell, Standard Oil, and
Exxon.
Exxon. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they took them off right away. Goodyear have a tire place. They took it. They took the sugar mills, and then they start selling sugar to Russia and not to the United States, which is pretty dumb.
And you had your family had a ranch at the time.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about the ranch.
Well, the ranch was pretty good. Our west side of the ranch was at San Pedro River, and the south side of the ranch was the coast, the Cuban coast. In Cuba, the land is bought by caballeria, not by acres. Okay, caballeria, there's 33.3 acres. We have we have 276 caballerias, which is a little bit over 9,000 acres. My father bought that. And if you go by the acres, it was less than $1 an acre. And there was big deal there. And they have almost paid. One more year. And we lost it.
Yeah.
They came a lieutenant with about 10 soldiers. We were vaccinating cattle. And I saw my daddy coming to me, and I know him good enough that something happened. He said, we have to go home. We have to go to town. And the guy said, the paper said, this place don't belongs to you. This place belongs to the people. Of course, I thought I was a people too, you know. But we were on the other side, and we went over there and trying to pick up our pictures and stuff like that. And the lieutenant come in the door and say, "No. Thank God I let you take the car." What he did was my grandmother's picture and stuff like that. I don't know, but they wanted us to take it. Then we moved. We had a house in Camagüey, then the city. My father, during the Depression, rented the house for $25. And it was a law in Cuba, if you don't move of the place you rent, they can raise the rent. The other houses around there was renting or selling, but the rental was $200. We had the house for $25. It was a terrible idea if you're in the rental business, but it was. If you were the renter, okay, it's okay.
Right. You were telling me a story at lunch about some of the adjacent property owners had made an offer to your dad.
Okay.
Do you want to share that?
Yeah. That's good. Bob Clever, if you know about the King Ranch Company in Texas, they had a large ranch in Cuba, and they were a real good friend of my dad. And Mr. Clever came to the ranch, and I was there. I forget, I was 13 years old. And it's Enrique, which is my father's name. We'll give you $1 million and put $1 million in the United States for this place because you're going to lose it. We're going to get him out of taxes. It was a big corporation. And that's it probably was a mistake, but I will remember forever. He said, this land belongs to my children. Well, my brother and I really liked the farming and ranching. My brother was a farmer and I was a rancher. And I like cattle. He liked tractors and stuff like that. I didn't like that, no. I always say the grass grow on their own and the cows have the baby without any help. And then when they have the crops, sometimes they have a lot of problem on it.
I got it.
But
yeah, so his father was offered $1 million for the ranch because the King Ranch people knew what was going to happen, and they were trying to help his father and help his family. His father refused the offer, and subsequently, as you heard just a minute ago, they lost everything that they had. I would say when your family So your family left Cuba shortly thereafter, right? And where did they go?
Right. We came to. My brother have come before, and he was
Mhm.
working in a ranch in Belgrade.
Mm-hmm.
And we came to Belgrade, Florida. And anybody who knows Florida, Belgrade was a little nice town then. Over here is a mess now, but but it was. And we came there, and we came December 1st. I joined I went to a brigade to practice January 13th.
Mm.
In other words, I was just around. I
Mhm.
didn't eat too much here.
Mhm.
In other words, I left on it.
Mm.
And I went, yes, sir.
And you were how old at that time?
I was 17. Just
17.
turned 17 December 29,
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And that was what year?
1960.
1960. Okay.
Well, 1961 is when I went, January,
Right.
born December 29.
Okay. So last question before we get to the actual kind of things about the invasion. How did you initially even get involved in this, and how did the CIA approach you, or how did that actually
Well,
come together?
It was done by Cubans. I didn't.
All in Miami?
In Miami,
area?
and
Okay.
actually we knew about before we came from Cuba. I want you to know I have 2 cousins and my father were in the Bay of Pigs.
Okay.
Yeah, my father was 57 years old, and I was 17.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
and 2 cousins. Actually, I'm the only one left in the whole group on it.
Mm-hmm.
And but that's how most of them got it. And people we want to go back. We want to save our land,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't want to hand out. And we tried. Can't complain.
So shortly after you got here in December of 1960, right away, I guess after Christmas or after winter,
Yeah.
is when you started in with the CIA. Was that sort
the
of a
CIA.
period of training?
Yeah.
Okay.
One reason I didn't know we were in a CIA training till after 10 years after we came back.
Oh.
I wish I have knew then, because I would have been 007. But but
Uh-huh.
I mean, I was a kid with CIA operators.
Right. Yeah. Right over your head, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so this kind of will lead us into our second part here, the invasion and the imprisonment part of Pepe's story. So the Bay of Pigs invasion actually began on Saturday, 15th, 1961, April 15th, 1961, with the principal invasion occurring on Monday, so 2 days later on the 17th, and it was pretty much over the 19th, 1961. So it lasted only a few days.
3 days.
There was 1,500 fighters total that were involved,
Yeah.
and about 1,100 of them that were actually taken prisoner.
Frank told me it was 1,175.
1,175.
He got everything under control on that.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy. So this was primarily financed, by the U.S. government, and it was an operation with the CIA. But you're saying that you weren't even aware of that.
Well, no, I didn't know I was an agent. I thought I didn't know nothing about the CIA. It's really maybe the higher ups knew it.
And so you were 17 at the
I
time.
was 17.
And were you even a U.S. citizen that quickly,
no, sir,
or
it
anything
just,
like that?
You have takes a little longer if you go the
Yeah.
right way,
Right.
or you go down the river.
Yeah.
I become a U.S. citizen after I left the U.S. Army.
Gotcha. So tell us a little bit about the 4 months from January to April. What was the training like, and what kind of things were you doing?
We was trained then we didn't know, but there were CIA trainers, and we was trained awesome. I went to the U.S. Army, and the training was any better. I mean, they put those trainers was awesome. Everybody was good. We love them. Everybody, old people, young people, everybody trying to do what he could. And they tried. They work. I mean, we work 7 days a week, 24 hours, whatever they have to be done to be a good trainer. It's just like basic training in the U.S. And you learn circumstances like different equipment and to do better. But our training was real good.
Where was the training?
I was in Guatemala, in the mountains of Guatemala.
Okay. Was that were they trying to mimic Cuba?
No.
In the vegetation of things, or?
No. But, well, the mountains, but we didn't land there in the mountains. We landed in a swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were that. I think that was a pretty good deal because they was waiting for us at every mountain in Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
No, they wasn't expecting to us coming in the swamp. Imagine a place like Cedar Key with 2 more bridges. They could not get in there. It was. I hear all the 2 part, but I see that this is one I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they was hard for them. They lost 5,000 people. We lost 150.
Wow.
Oh no, 85. I'm sorry, 85.
Wow.
Yeah,
They lost 5,000. You all lost 85.
85 dead. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And they really didn't have the training. We can see the sense they did.
You're right.
Like put 4 or 5 trucks together right in front of a set of visors. You know?
So you said that your dad was involved and a couple of cousins were
Couple of
involved.
cousins.
So obviously your parents knew what you were doing.
Yeah.
Did the greater public kind of know what you were doing, or was it sort of?
Well, yeah, my
secret?
mother know it, my family know it, but there was no to advise. We're supposed to be in a place and nobody know what it was. The
Mhm.
only people who knew where we were was everybody I know.
Okay.
Because everybody everybody knew there was in Guatemala, and
Yeah.
how you know that? Somebody told me this. No, you cannot be you can you let's put it this way, somebody came out with it. Well, the Guatemalans used to cross right by the base.
Oh, really?
It was in the mountains, but they had a road.
Mm-hmm.
We had to take people if they was walking from one side of the mountain to the other side, if they were in the base part.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Understood. So, and what was the day like? On what day did you actually go? It was on Monday, the 16th, or the 17th.
Well, our Sheep 4 Battalion, we
Okay.
was armor battalion. We have we didn't have the tanks, but we have 5 tanks, by the way. And but there was we landed right before midnight of the 17th.
Okay.
Just maybe 11:30 or something like that. But us, but just
So it was at night.
yeah. We got in what they call Blue Beach was the Bay of Pigs is a bay, and Blue Beach was a little town.
Mhm.
And we got there, and they have a garrison there. It was about 20 people, but we got them as surprise. They
Okay.
surrounded. I mean, they don't even. I don't think we shot 3 shots there. Nobody got killed or hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And we took them prisoners. And then, of course, these things got bad when during the days. Few of their planes came around.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know which one of the planes was theirs or ours because we have the same planes.
Mm-hmm.
There was a little bit of different, but when you see a plane coming to you, you don't know what is main business.
Right. Right. So you
Yeah.
landed at midnight.
Yeah.
And did you actually get to the beach, or?
No, we had LSD, those big barges that open the front.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, we went to the. In the case of mine, he hit a rock, and when we jumped off, there was probably 10 foot of water.
Mm.
But we stayed out and we didn't lost anything.
Right.
Yeah, but most everything was done pretty good there, and of course, then we start seeing more planes than Castro. We know Castro not supposed to have a plane. We don't have a single aircraft machine gun with us, and the reason is that some happened when the day before when he was on assault, 2 planes to each one of his airport. And somebody say, no, we can't do that because there's too many planes. Who cares? You're trying to win the war.
Mm-hmm.
And they sent just 4 planes for each of there, and they sent 2 planes. Of course, they then destroyed the airports pretty good. Our planes have to come from Nicaragua, and we have to they have to take the tail gunner off because they had to use more fuel.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Castro's plane, the ones left, they didn't have that problem. But if you get behind one or a plane, the planes was down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we obviously hear that war is hell. We have a mutual acquaintance in Frank De Verona, who we mentioned a minute ago, who was in the battle with you.
Yes, sir.
Frank lost his brother in the battle, and and Frank was actually, come to find out, that he was a child, and when we started talking, Frank was a childhood friend of yours, or
Yeah.
some of you knew, right?
We live two blocks apart.
Yeah, that's just amazing. So, a little bit of the CIA angle, I guess. Frank has written books, and he sort of blames the CIA leadership of how it did really kind of turn south. And do you agree with that, or
Well, no.
maybe tell us how it was supposed to go, and then how it actually went?
Well, it's supposed to go first. The attack on the plane attack.
Mm-hmm.
They cut him by half. Not the CIA people that was training us. They
Right.
were. I don't know how to say another word. They were pissed.
Right. They were
In other
mad.
words, they was mad. They were mad. Why are you doing that? Something like, okay, we only lost half of the problem.
Right.
Then we go and all our training, and then they come up with we're supposed to have some air prize.
Right.
I remember when we got to Red Beach. That's where I got wounded. The one plane, American plane, went by probably, I would say 100-foot sounds. You know how the sound went by, and we didn't have no shot from the other side for 4 or 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to find out.
All right.
It's just stopped. And that's the only one I saw.
Okay.
In other words, how he got there, how he did it, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But what my point is, when you say the CIA, the people who trained us was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The guys in Washington,
Washington.
were not.
Uh-huh.
I think we have the same problem around, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, when you see the FBI and CIA, they're good people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the big guys are not doing it right. It was exactly what happened there.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had also talked before. Yeah, you did get wounded. Can you tell us a little bit about how that happened?
Well, we got to Red Beach, and we got put the display. I was with a 57 recoil rifle with another guy, and all of a sudden we got a barrage of visors.
Mm-hmm.
You know what they do? They go like this, and then get another one like this, and another like this, and we saw this one, and we just got maybe it was a little fear.
Mm-hmm.
For my part, it was a lot of fear. I don't know the rest. But the reason is we got in a place that was not too good. There was a tree
Right.
by.
Right.
That's a no-no.
Right.
Because if a visor explodes in a tree and it goes like this,
Mm-hmm.
versus if it's in the ground, it goes like this. Okay, and they blow up. The guy lost a leg. Another fellow got killed. I have my little wound, and the other fellow next to me, brother, didn't have a scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the end of that was my end of the fight. In other words, I was in the infirmary for the rest of the war under it. Don't know what happened.
So what time was that?
9 o'clock, April 17, 1961, at 9 p.m. No 8:59, no 9:01.
It was right at 9.
Because I just asked this brother, I said, what time is it? It's 9 o'clock. Boom.
Okay.
Came at the same time.
So this was 9 o'clock at night.
9
So you'd
o'clock
been
at
there
night.
all day.
Well, we've been there
And-
from about 11 o'clock. That was the second battalion that asked for some help from the 4th battalion, which is the one I was.
Mm-hmm.
And we weren't in town. We really haven't any big deal yet. And they signed a company there,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we got on it.
So when did you know when things really started to turn bad?
Well, I was in a house there. They made a kind of like a little infirmary there, and they was really doing a lot of artillery to everybody. And they finally, I didn't see nothing from the outside. Actually, we have 2 of their men with us. They were wounded
Mm-hmm.
also, and we came the evacuators in a truck, and we went to some woods, and I was limping
Mm-hmm.
and trying to hide, but stay in the wood. I stayed 3 days in the wood, but there was thousands of men in there, and there's
Right.
nowhere to go.
So when you actually got captured,
Mhm.
can you take us back to that moment?
Well, you won't believe that. I saw the group of soldiers, and I just say, well, let me see, maybe I get killed and I just, hey, and put my hands up, and hold my sons up. One told my wife. And then about from here to where this lady is, this guy come to me. It was Fidel Castro.
Really?
Put his hand behind me. And I didn't know what to say. He didn't say nothing. Turned me loose and went to.
Did you know who he was at that time?
Yeah. I have seen
Sure.
plenty of pictures of him. So, man, I could not believe that part. But later on, I tell you, when we were in prison, what turned up, because he made me, he wanted to talk to me when I was in prison. He remembered that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. So he remembered from when you
for
met
touching,
in the field.
Yeah. Well, the reason is, what he wants to know, how come young people are doing this? This country is for the young people. You people are wrong.
Right.
And then he asked my father, what my father did. He was a rancher. Might as well told him he was a drug dealer. That's the end of conversation right there. And it was hard to figure. No, there's no way I can change this deal
right
over there. But that's my only touch to him.
Okay. So you go to prison. Where was the prison?
The prison. Well, they have the groups of us, and my group went to Isle of Pine.
Isle of Pine.
Isle of Pine is a little island on the south of Havana. I mean, yes, south of Havana. And the other one stay in the Prince Castle. There was a big prison, in different in the area. There's so many for we didn't have a visit. We sleep on the floor, and this Pepe over there is his uncle and I. We sleep next to each other for over a year.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you want to share what prison life was like for you and Pepe's uncle?
Oh yeah, he was a lot older than me, and my father was on the other side.
He was on the other side of where?
Me.
Oh, okay.
I was between his uncle and my father.
Oh,
on the floor, we found a big piece of cardboard, and it was like a, I don't know if you have a $200 mattress on it, but we were one of the people with something under, because it's concrete. I mean, there's terrazzo floor.
Terrazzo?
Yeah, and it was pretty. Actually, the floor's there because they have a big mine there next to it. And well, we have food in the morning, and they get 55-gallon drum with some look like a spaghetti, but or like lasagna pieces on it. And we call them. We have food 3 times a day and different flavors. It was hot in the morning, warm at noontime, and cold in the afternoon, because that was it.
Yeah.
And oh, can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, I'm sorry. Please say it. We have food. They usually come in the morning, and then they came. We live in there. Then at noontime we eat a little warmer food, and later on there was cold, and they take the big barrel away. But if you have, we had a line. One of the things, the part there, everybody there was a decent person. You're in a regular what do you call a prison.
Right.
Everybody respect everybody. We have a military. We have officers and everything, and we respect what to do and what not to do, and we have in line. You have a line. For example, if you're the last person who got a piece of bread today, I am in line behind you. I am the first person who get a piece of bread tomorrow, because they never send enough bread for the 210 people in the place, or anything else. It was like sometimes eggs, 1 egg. If they knew it was 210, but they sent 205, and that's the reason you always have the same place in the line.
Okay.
Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
So everybody you were in the same line every day.
If you were the last person who got bread today, and I am behind you, I am the first person tomorrow. And the whole line is behind me.
I see.
And we were really, 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 I mean, military in that. There's no playing with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jose, at some point, this is kind of going on day after day, week after week. Was there ever a point where you wanted to give up?
I don't know, really serious, but some people did, and I didn't feel. Yeah, I thought my life was, their sentences to 30 years,
Mm.
and I was 18. But then their sentences after the first, after we've been there almost a year. That's when they have the sentence and all that. I don't know what it will have been, but we didn't have no letters, no nothing, no. Actually, remember that dance, the twist.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody found out about that. I don't know how. I guess one of the guards told him or something. There was.
Yeah.
We thought it was a weapon.
Oh.
Boy, I bet that's really going to be twisting around.
Yeah. Yeah.
They was very disappointed on that.
So was it just the three of you in the cell?
No.
There were more.
It was a barrack, an L-shaped barrack. It was 210 people.
All in the same room?
All in the same barrack.
Oh, I see.
Did you sleep? Okay. The barrack was an L shape. You sleep here. The other guy put his head here, and the other guy put his head in between his legs.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a bathroom, there was the highest place, and there was made on top. In other words, the bathroom was this high. You can see him anywhere. Somebody's in a toilet. You can see him from the other end.
Oh.
And they only have water 2 times a day, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, if you need to do something, you better get it done.
Mm-hmm.
After being there, if you need to use the bathroom at midnight, you have to run over everybody. But we was used to because they turned the lights on at 9 o'clock, I think.
They turn the lights off at 10?
Off, yeah.
Off at, I see.
They have the outside of the building, but no one inside of the.
Okay, all right. What kept you going during this time?
Well, I don't know. I was thinking, then I will have to ride my horse again.
Oh.
And my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother.
Mm-hmm.
And family. But
Mm-hmm.
my father was taking a little harder.
Sure.
But
Sure.
we got together. Sometime he wants to go and I say, hey, he was 50-some years old as though he was 500. No?
Mm-hmm.
And but it was we have very few. We have some people that went berserk, but
Mm-hmm.
not too many.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I would say 3 there. I don't know the other places what they have.
Right.
I mean, they have to be put in the areas by themselves.
Okay. All right. So you were in prison. It was about 22 months,
Mm-hmm.
almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Okay. And Castro finally agreed to release everyone.
He traded the prisoners for equipment and medicine.
Mm-hmm.
See, United States don't pay ransom, but they did it as a goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow they work it out. I was a lawyer, the same lawyer that traded that guy, those prisoners in the breach in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name. Oh, Donovan.
Okay.
Was the same lawyers that did that. Work our deal on it.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading online when I was doing some research to talk to you that it was, at the time, it was about $52 million worth of equipment and
Yeah.
food and medicine
Mhm.
that you all were worth. And I think you're worth every penny.
Well,
Uh,
thank you.
Jose, were you aware of these negotiations that were going on at the time?
No, where we were in Isla Pine, somehow we were in Isla Pine, which was the most hard or difficult place to escape
Mm-hmm.
to a group of people. But there was a preacher, there was a priest, there was a. Have you ever seen a priest give a mass in underwears? I have done that
Mm.
because it's the only thing he had.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have they're one of the people, probably the people that have they could do more damage, and I don't know if we were the tough people, but they thought they pick up a group and put
Uh-huh.
us there,
Oh, okay.
and I don't never got the really idea why.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all theories, but don't.
Okay. So when, and just make sure we speak loud so everybody can
Okay.
hear. When did you know that you were going to be released?
The day before,
The day
they
before.
let us out in the sun. And they let us out in the sun. It was just the L shape. It was a four, L shape, and it had a patio in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And they never did do that before. And the second day in the morning, they threw a pair of pants and a shirt per person that was there. That don't necessarily fit you, but the feet, the guys get it bigger. And most of everybody there was, by the way, was pretty slim.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, weigh 120 pounds when I lived there.
Are you saying you were never let outside the entire
No.
time you were there?
In Isle of Pine.
At Isle of Pine.
The barracks and the Prince Castle, they have an area that you can kind of close, and it's part of the barrack. But there was, they just didn't ever let us out.
So the day before you were going to be released, you were allowed outside.
Right. We knew there was something was wrong.
Did you think something was wrong or something was right?
We didn't know. Some people saw it was wrong or right or right. It was 50-50. Why?
Okay. Oh, well. So I'm sure maybe you never even wanted to believe it until it actually happened. Can you tell us about that final day when you actually did get released?
Yeah, we were sent in a plane from the Isle of Pine to Cuba to the air base, and they put us in cots. We got a pretty good idea what was going on. And then, lined up. What is the name of that company? Went out of business, airline.
Pan Am?
Pan Am.
Pan Am?
Pan Am. Started landing there. We knew some business. Now, they took, I think, 6 planes for us. Tomeu is in the last plane.
Mm-hmm.
The last plane haven't landed when everybody have left.
Mm-hmm.
That was one time I feel kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah.
It didn't last too long. For about half an hour, then we saw the plane and said, well, that's it.
Well, you were telling me how just powerful and overwhelming seeing that plane come in to get you was.
Oh, unbelievable. Really?
Sure. So, wow. So let's go to our closing segment.
Okay.
All right.
I wanted to give you this.
Yeah, I got one. So how did you start putting your life back together after you came here?
Came here. Oh, I was going to ask you for this soldiers, people that got killed.
You want to do that now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I have this. Can you see? Kind of wimpy. My wife teach you how to be that way. They were during the battle. The planes, we have 17 planes, and there was about 12 or 15 that have been knocked down. And the CIA trainers, they got in 2 planes. They, I understand, I didn't see that. Then they asked the Grayson Lynch, the CIA commander, say, you need to come back. You don't have permission to do that. And they say, the radios don't work, and we'll talk to you when we come back. Well, they'll forget that kill. These 4 Americans, they have nothing to do with Cubans, because they thought it was a good thing to do. They give their life, and I want to read you their names. Leo Baker, Wade Gray, Thomas Ray, Riley Schamberger, Alabama National Guard pilots, the teacher pilots, and they die at the Bay of Pigs. How many Americans we have died in any war saving somebody, and they will not get nothing back. This is the toughest people in earth, every one of you. And I'm glad to be part of it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
I
sharing.
think my wife is going to beat me if I won't be able to say that. You lose.
Um, so, thank you for sharing their names with us, and we'll make sure to put the something into the broadcast when we
Okay.
edit the video. But Jose, can you tell us how you started really just kind of putting your life back together when you got to the United States?
Well, United States was good to me. I get here, I find a job with the Florida Sugar Refinery, and I went. They had a ranch, very good sand ranch in Clewiston, and I work in the ranch. I spoke little English, not too much, but since I knew what ranches needs to do, it's like close the gate. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know,
Sure.
Yeah, when you see the gate is not closed, you don't have to wait till somebody tell you.
Right.
But then after that, I went to the U.S. Army, and I volunteered for the U.S. Army because I didn't left when the other group that went in the Army, 300, I think 305 of us joined the U.S. Army.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's 306, including me.
Mm.
And but I was a little far, no right when they came. Some of those guys went right away.
Mm-hmm.
I was too skinny; they won't take me. that is a fact.
Oh wow! Wow.
And then I came and I stayed in the army. And when I left the army, I had a girlfriend that was dating for about a year, and she agreed to marry me. Maybe a mistake, but she on that. But that big boy over there is my son and his wife, and I got another one.
Nice.
I got one that's 53, other's 52.
Mm-hmm.
That's her family is German descendant. Those Germans are really tough.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And but I start working when I came out of the service. I started working with Sun Oil Company in Port Everglades. I drive a semi truck, a gasoline truck, and it was a fireman working there part time. And he said, "You need to try to get a job in the fire department." And I applied in 3 or 4 of the departments, and I got a job on Delray Beach Fire Department.
Wonderful.
Then I bought 2.5 acres there, and some people decided to build a golf course behind my 2.5 acres. And when everybody saw that I didn't make a big deal, they realized I was a genius, which I was, and I didn't know that was going to happen.
Right.
The guy who sold it to me don't know either.
Right.
And then I was trying to look for land. I like land. I like to have a little place. And I met a fireman from Gainesville, and I just passed my EMT school. And he say, if you go to apply there right now, you'll be there in 2 weeks. That's why that happened.
Okay. So that's what you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my name Wayne Bloodworth from High Spring.
And he's the old fire chief now?
No, yeah, well, he
Recently?
was no fire chief. He was a captain, but he worked for a funeral home there. And
So Wayne Bloodworth's son was just elected
he's
to the
running.
city.
He's running. Yes, running
He
for.
ju-
I know him since he was a little kid.
He was just elected to the city council in
Yeah,
High Springs.
real nice people.
Great.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the pest control business?
Well, I got in a job in the Delray Beach Fire Department. You know how the firemen work 24 and 48 off. And this fellow had a company, and I applied. He said, "What do you know about pest control?" I say, "Nothing." and and I think it was kind of needed. And I worked for him for about 3 or 4 months. I learned a little bit. But then this fellow who lived, I was in Boca Raton.
Okay.
I was in Delray Beach, which is
Okay.
the little south.
Okay.
He wants to put it full time, and I didn't want to ask me if I wanted to say no. I had the fire department was better, and another fellow by the name Jim Brindle.
Mm-hmm.
He, he hired me. And he likes the way I did sense, I guess, and he helped me every cent, and he was always make me feel good.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you got to take, the reason I was working pest control is to pay entry fees and rodeos.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the rodeo.
Yeah, okay, that was the whole idea.
Okay.
Fern is a nurse, and we have the fire department.
Okay.
And they know they only have one, the big boy over there, is only when he was little, and he didn't need that much.
Oh.
And they then I you know, he said, you will take the test. Like, hey, I haven't left the army too long ago. Somebody treat you like that. And he had been a lieutenant, and
Right.
And he was an entomologist.
Mm-hmm.
He was a lieutenant in the army during the war, I guess. And well, I moved to Gainesville,
Mm-hmm.
and I got my certificate, and I started a company, Alachua Pest Control.
Yeah.
And I had it for 35 years. We was able to get all the way to have 15 employees plus Fern and I.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pay her, but
Does
she did the
does she
bookkeeping.
remind you of that a lot?
Well, every day.
So you started something pretty unique in the pest control business that I wanted you to share.
Okay, I was there one day reading a paper, and I saw that this guy named Peruyero. And he said, God, I said next to a fellow named Peruyero for almost a year and a half in prison. And I called him, and he said, yeah, that was my uncle. He's dead now. And I met him. He's sitting right here. And I met him. And I say, Pepe, he's a dog trainer. He was a dog handler for the Gainesville Fire Department. And I said, could we train a dog for termite? I have heard some about that. He said, yes, it can be done. Well, we did it. And the dog belongs to him. It's not simple. The dog cannot eat any day till he finds termite. I mean, 7 days a week. You know, we was trying to raise termite. Termite is harder to raise it than to kill it. They die on their own. I don't know why. And somehow we found what it was, the pseudos, Pepe? The drops. The drops. Yeah, Dr. Kaler in the university. Well, let me tell you, this is good. We went to the university to show the dog at the university. I mean, nothing to do with the university. We're going to show him the dog. And he liked it so much, and oh boy, that we had to do this. And he created a problem, told you, and create a pseudo, but you put it right here, and you send the dog about 20 minutes, it smells like termite. And it was pretty good because you don't have to, they won't die. And now they buy vials on it. In the state, we have the dog. We have probably the only dog in the county, or maybe in Florida. I don't know. There's not too many.
Yeah.
And
so you and Pepe really kind of pioneered this.
Yeah. Well, he pioneered.
Yeah.
I just was the. I just get him up.
You were the termite
Yeah.
guy. He was the dog guy.
I provided the termite. He provided the dog.
So you were. Yeah. So you were telling me originally. It's not always easy to find termites. We're in Florida. You think termites are everywhere, but it's not always easy to find the termites to train these dogs. But the advent of the chemical has really kind of helped. And
well, now it's a company who sells termites in the little vials, and that's because what we have done. Pepe had offices in New York and an office in California.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I think.
How many dogs do you think are being used for termite detection at this time?
How many dogs will be used for termite detection at this time?
In the U.S., there's probably, I would say, maybe
20.
But with other insects, it's probably around 800.
Wow.
And that was mine was the first.
Yours was the first.
Get
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't. No, the dog belongs to him.
Yeah.
And the fellow next to him is his son-in-law.
Uh-huh.
And his son-in-law opened a company,
Mm-hmm.
and I have my certificate. I kept my certificate,
Yep.
and I'm their certified operator.
Fantastic.
I don't do too much work,
Right.
and I tell him what he's doing wrong or right, but he needs a certified
Yeah,
operator.
sure,
You know?
sure.
Yeah.
So we know from your story where the cattle came in. Where did the rodeo start coming in?
Well, I rodeo in Cuba.
Oh, okay.
Cuba had a rodeo association, a small kind of rudimentally.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came here, I went to work for U.S. Sugar,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the manager was a cowboy,
Oh.
and
Yeah.
that was it's got to be like some kind of a drug was being a calf roper, because I know people that sell their house and sell
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't do that. My wife won't let me.
It's not for lack of trying, huh?
No, not for lack of trying. Right.
Well, Jose, you were inducted into the National Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame in 2018. Can you tell us about that experience?
They can find nobody.
They needed somebody. Well, tell us a story about the rodeo, and tell us about the induction ceremony.
Well, the induction ceremony was fantastic. I have, you know how tough I am about crying, right?
Yeah.
My two kids talk about it, and wow, they went all over.
Mm-hmm.
And they say the reason is I have helped him. We have a breast cancer deal, and I took over that, and we had several $1,000s through the years.
Right.
And they told me that was one of the reasons. They not because I am a good cowboy, really. It's just I did good other sense on it. But I like, and I am also a gold card member of the PRCA, which is the Professional Cowboy Association.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in Okeechobee. I won the rodeo. And that little kid pushed it. Joseph, can you stand up? That's my little kid. And that's his wife.
Mm-hmm.
She's a barrel racer.
A barrel racer.
Yeah.
Oh,
And he's a
okay.
calf roper.
Okay.
They live in Texas.
He lives in Texas.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I live in a town named Espel Albor, pronounced Alboy.
Oh boy.
Don't you tell the numbers of the people over there.
Well, kind of my last sort of couple of questions. When you look back, prior to Castro and him taking over Cuba, what are some of the similarities that you're seeing now? And we've talked a little bit about this. That what you're seeing here now.
It's the same.
Mm-hmm.
The fellow over there, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
He. I don't think he's running the show. I think it's somebody else.
Right.
Is running the show, and that's exactly. That takes me. It's no reason you don't like this country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to have some problem yourself, and because everybody's good. Everybody. You mean crime? I got a old bucket in the front of my place. If the guys bring them, I mean the FedEx or whatever brings some.
Right.
There's no other country left in this continent that you can do that. And maybe not even here in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
But here we still that. And I check. Everybody I have talked or some, they have been nice to me, or they have helped me. And
Gotcha.
that's the
Gotcha.
and it's everybody. I mean, I've done the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, for everybody here, the Bay of Pigs 2506 Brigade, they actually have a museum in Miami. You can learn about Pepe and others at that museum. The website is the Bay of Pigs Brigade 2506.com. And you have something very special there. Do you want to share with us what you have there?
Well, when I was in the airport, we had the P in the back of our shirt, and I have the great idea to cut the P and put them under my underwears, and smuggle it all the way to United States. My father, who was really mad, he wanted to throw it away.
Mhm.
Well, I had to give it to a museum before
Mhm.
to get it. But that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
So it's the
It's in the
P.
museum.
It's the P from your prisoner's
it's
uniform.
prisoner. Yeah, I got to tells you in English and in Spanish what it is.
Yeah, it's in the.
My wife made it.
Mm-hmm.
A little.
Mhm. Yeah. Jose, you wanted to have a quick little moment of silence for the people that you read about,
Yes.
everybody else that was lost. Do you want to go ahead and do that now?
I will.
Okay.
Will you mind to stand up, please? God, thank you for these people, their life saved democracy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is awesome. Right now, what you have done, that you have
It's the least we could do.
right there, is what this country is, and it will be forever.
Hmm. Yes. Well, Jose, you're a story of promise. You're a story of hope. You're not only a Cuban hero. I think you're an American hero. And I thank you for joining us.
Wow. Thank you, Martin. Thank you.
Well, if you just give us a minute to collect ourselves. It's just, I couldn't wait to get this documented and to get your story, for your family, for us. And we're going to just take a minute here. If you got to go into the bathroom, we're actually going to take this backdrop and slide it over there to that area. If you'd like to talk with Jose a little bit direct or get a photo with him, which I think would be awesome, just give us a couple of seconds to let us do that. Thank you all for coming.